In a moment when we weren't looking, Alec took his leave early in the morning of December the 27th, quietly. After much struggling, he left in the way he had lived his life, without fanfare. We watched him fight for air behind his tight-fitting mask, head jerking, chest heaving, and shoulders shuddering. Terribly thin, and occasionally looking at us with looks that we each read our own thoughts into. Then a prolonged period of unconsciousness while the body still struggled. And then when we turned away for a little while, what we prayed for and gently urged him to do, he did. We turned back to him again, and he had stolen away. What you see with your eyes in cases like that is someone dying. But with the eyes of faith, you see something more than that, not less than that, more than that. You see a man or a woman, a child, stealing away to Jesus. Sometime prior to 1862, Willis wrote a thing called Steal Away to Jesus. Steal away, steal away, steal away to Jesus. Steal away, steal away home. I ain't got long to stay here. We're told that Willis's song was sung by slaves to tell one of their own who had taken all he could take or suffered all she could suffer and was running to freedom. When the time was right, they would sing, Steal Away to Jesus. And beyond the foundational message that Willis gave us, they were telling them, the time's right. Go. Go for freedom. That's what the eyes of faith see in the death of someone like Alec. He'd had enough. But struggling's all done. No more lines or tubes. No more intensive care wards. No more drains, needles, hums, clicks, or wheezes. No more monitors telling their sad and getting sadder stories. No more terrific back pain. And no more fighting with injured lungs, liver, and heart. Now he experiences contentedly life and fellowship with all of those who wait for the signal from Jesus Christ when he will rise to bring them with him, to resurrect the fullness of immortal life in Jesus. He's another one who waits for righteousness, an unbroken peace in reunion with all those he holds dear. He was always an intense man. All the McGuiggans are, I think. Always intense, except on the day I baptized him into Jesus Christ about 6 years ago. We went to the water on his confession of trust in the Christ. And he committed himself there to the saving power and care and service of our Lord. He listened with the demeanor, with the air of a child as I spoke to him about Jesus, and he surrendered himself sweetly to all the little instructions his kid brother was giving to him as the baptism took place. He was already ill then, though the severity of it all developed into what this past year has revealed. He and his wife Anne, a devoted Christian woman, they have 4 sons. They have 4 really fine sons and a sweet daughter. When they were children, though Alec didn't attend church himself, he did everything to encourage and help Anne get the children out without fail to church and Sunday school. Now and then she was bone weary running after 5 small children. Once in a while she thought she wouldn't go to church today. No. Alex said, "You need to go, dear." He had the clothes all laid out, shoes polished and everything. God was working in and through him even then. 3 of those sons are presently spreading the gospel of Christ. 2 are local ministers with congregations. The others in the Christian publishing business. And all 3 are raising their children in the nurture of the gospel of Jesus. The other 2 children, Neil and Julie, they're well aware of Jesus, and maybe before too long, they'll give their lives over to him to complete an entire family salvation. Wouldn't that be wonderful? They already have a disposition toward Christ that gives us grounds for believing that that might well happen. Trust in God it does. I talked to Alec the day before he underwent surgery and asked him if he was afraid of dying. He said he had concerns about his family, of course. I said that made perfect sense. But what of you personally? Are you worried? He said he wasn't. He said he wasn't because he had the right man in his corner. It's astonishing how a few words can express a world full of meaning and images and truth, and can transform a tragic situation into something more than tragedy, not less than tragedy, for this is tragic. but more than that. You might remember the movie called As Good as It Gets. Jack Nicholson plays the part of a man with a severe compulsive disorder, and one day, nearly out of his mind, he bursts into his therapist's office without warning. He's looking for help. The doctor throws him out of the office. And Nicholson looks around the waiting room at all the deeply depressed, utterly confused, and fear-filled people. And he says, what if this is as good as it gets? Look around you at all the pain, all the hurt, all the suffering, all the hospitals, all the wars, all the loneliness, and on and on and on. What if this was as good as it gets? Alec's faith as he approached death is well expressed in George Herbert's poem. Alec didn't believe a word of this is as good as it gets. In Herbert's poem, a dying Christian is in dialogue with death, and death wants to intimidate the Christian. The Christian won't have it. The Christian says, alas, poor death, where's your glory? Where's your famous force, your ancient sting? Death says, alas, poor mortal, you don't know the story. Go spell and read how I have killed your king. Christian said, poor death, and who was hurt thereby? Thy curse laid on him makes thee accursed. Death says, let losers talk, yet thou shalt die. These arms shall crush thee. Christian says, oh, spare not. Do thy worst. I shall be one day better than before. You, so much worse. You shall be no more. Alec said that to death. And your loved ones who are in Jesus Christ, they said that to death. And all those embraced in the saving work of our Lord Jesus Christ, down all the ages, they all said it to death. And they were all able to say it to death because Jesus said to a young girl, devastated by the death of one she loved beyond words, he said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. Those who believe in me will live, even though they die. Life, brim full of life, unbroken peace, unbroken righteousness, joy and prosperity in one another's success and joy, all under Christ and before his Holy Father. Now that's as good as it gets.